So, some people were asking my thoughts on the new Simple Creatures song, and usually I don't like doing just quick song reviews because I'd rather wait for a full release to really give much of an opinion, but at this point, I don't even know if I'm going to want to put on that full EP when it comes out. Maybe I'll endure it just for you guys, but I mean, right off the bat, a lot of you, if you've been following me for a while, know I'm not really Mark's biggest fan these days. A lot of what he's been doing with Blink just really seems to lack character. And I've never been an all-time low fan. I'll say that right off the bat. But, you know, being as unbiased as I can possibly be, even just from like the first like 30-second clip that they had teased before its official release, I'm like, this is not going to be good. It's just not. And so I ended up listening to the whole song a couple times, and it really is just lifeless, in my opinion. It really takes the worst parts of pop and the most overused characteristics of pop music and just overuses it. And don't even get me started on the na-na-nas. I mean, Mark has to let that go. I mean, it's time. You know, he's at this point he's using it as a way to try and stay relevant to his old fans. And even just from like the quick thing I saw on Reddit, on the Blink subreddit, you know, the first comments were like, oh, here we go again with the Nas. And I totally agree. You know, it's tired. It was overused with California, and, you know, he's still doing it. I don't think he did it at all on Plus 44, if I'm remembering correctly. I really don't think he did, and it didn't need it. You know, that was a solid album front to back. I mean, it wasn't a groundbreaking album by any means, but it was a solid album. And this song, while I don't think that either of these two guys are trying to be really, you know, anything punk related, even if it's just a pop song, which it basically is, it's not doing anything that the genre isn't already overdoing every single day. I mean, all these pop songs are just sounding exactly the same to me. I mean, you name it, whatever comes on the radio, I'm just like, yeah, this sounds exactly the same song I heard 2 songs ago. You know, it's just getting really tired, and frankly, I just don't see the reason for it. I'm reading a couple quotes on this website here. I'm not entirely sure how to say his last name, but Gazkarth, Alex, the other guy, says, "Drug is a song about someone or something you want the most being terrible for you. Feels great until it doesn't, but then you can't stop." That's cool, you know, nothing really wrong with that. And he goes to say, "In the studio, it felt immediately like it was the song that best defined Simple Creatures." Not looking good from the start then. It says, "It's gritty, grimy, rooted in musicality we both came up on, but with a twist that takes it away from anything we've worked on before." Yeah, right. It sounds exactly like the worst parts of California. The little bits that I've heard of All Time Low, it sounds a lot like some of that garbage. And to say that it's gritty and grimy, I don't even know how you pulled those 2 words out of your vocabulary to describe the song, because it's so overpolished. It's the absolute opposite of having any sort of character at all, and it's just boring. It's catchy, but not in a good way. I mean, it's catchy in a sense that I'm upset if I'm hearing this song, you know, if I'm thinking this song later on. It's not like me hearing, I don't even know, we'll say First Date or something. That's even one of their more Blink's popular, more poppier songs back in the day. But, you know, at least that was doing something fairly new at the time. This is stuff we hear on the radio constantly, and it is not gritty, it's not grimy. I mean, maybe you could say the lyrical direction has that kind of quality to it. I mean, I don't really have anything against the lyrics other than the nah-nahs, but I don't know. The production and the overall musicality, I think, is like you take pop punk and just continue to neuter it more and more every time you do it. And I don't know. I'm not about it. I think it's kind of a joke, and I do not have any faith at all that the EP is going to be anything worth listening to. I mean, and I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. I mean, it really is just not a good song. And I get that these two guys wanted to work together for a long time. You know, they've seemed like they've been friends for a while, but I don't know. I think they're running out of ideas. And I don't think Feldman was a part of this, who did like the I don't know, production or whatever, or the mix and stuff on the California album. I'm pretty sure he's not on this, but he might as well have been, because it's that devoid of any sort of personality. I mean, it really is just, it's disappointing and just not really something I would ever want to listen to. So, I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. I really don't know if I'll end up listening to the rest of the record. I mean, if you guys really want to know my thoughts on it, I'll try to stay open-minded and give you some sort of unbiased opinion on it, but I don't think it's... If this is the song that they chose to define simple creatures like they say, I don't know. It's not looking good for them, so... But, you know, I have been surprised in the past. I mean, some bands end up choosing, in my opinion, their worst songs on the albums to be their first single. I mean, it happened to me with Angels and Airwaves. It's happened to me with Blink songs. I mean, Up All Night was the first one released for Neighborhoods, and that's probably one of my least favorite on the album. Same goes for Angels and Airwaves with Anxiety and some other one I don't remember. But I don't know. I'm curious to know your thoughts. You know, I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking that this is just kind of a joke. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's going to be rough. See you guys later.